Imagine a world where ancient civilizations that vanished thousands of years ago suddenly reappeared in the modern era. How would they react to the changes in technology, culture, and society? What secrets would they reveal about their history, beliefs, and achievements? And what would we learn from them about ourselves and our future? Hello, and welcome to Lost Worlds Unveiled, the channel where we explore the mysteries of the past and the possibilities of the future. I'm your host, and today we're going to talk about 11 prehistoric civilizations that resurfaced after being hidden for millennia. These are not just myths or legends, but real historical cultures that left behind traces of their existence in the form of rock art, manuscripts, monuments, and artifacts. Some of them were rediscovered by archaeologists, some by accident, and some by sheer luck. But all of them have fascinating stories to tell that will challenge your assumptions and expand your horizons. So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get notified of our latest videos. The first civilization we're going to talk about is the Sumerians, who lived in Mesopotamia, the region between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in what is now Iraq and parts of Syria, Turkey, and Iran. The Sumerians are considered to be the first civilization in human history as they developed writing, mathematics, astronomy, law, and urban planning around 3200 BCE. They also created some of the earliest known literature, such as the Epic of Gilgamesh, which tells the story of a king who searches for immortality. The Sumerians were largely forgotten until the 19th century, when British and French archaeologists excavated their ancient cities and deciphered their cuneiform script. Since then, we have learned a lot about their culture, religion, and achievements, but there are still many mysteries and controversies surrounding them. The second civilization we're going to talk about is the Egyptians, who ruled over the Nile Valley for more than 3,000 years, from around 3100 BCE to 332 BCE. The Egyptians are famous for their pyramids, temples, mummies, hieroglyphs, and pharaohs, who were considered to be gods on earth. The Egyptians had a rich and complex civilization that influenced many other cultures, such as the Greeks, Romans, and Arabs. They also made significant contributions to science, medicine, art, and architecture. The Egyptians were never completely lost, as their monuments and writings survived the ages. But they were not fully understood until the 18th and 19th centuries, when explorers, scholars, and adventurers uncovered their secrets and translated their language. Today, Egyptology is a thriving field of study that continues to reveal discoveries and insights about this ancient civilization. The third civilization we're going to talk about is the Indus Valley Civilization, which flourished in the Indus River Basin in what is now Pakistan and parts of India, Afghanistan, and Iran, from around 2500 BCE to 1900 BCE. The Indus Valley Civilization was one of the largest and most advanced civilizations of the ancient world, with a population of over 5 million people. They built sophisticated cities, with planned streets, drainage systems, public baths, and granaries. They also developed a unique script, which had not yet been deciphered, and a trade network that extended to Mesopotamia, Egypt, and Central Asia. The Indus Valley Civilization declined and disappeared around 1900 BCE, possibly due to climate change, invasion, or internal collapse. They were rediscovered in the 1920s, when British archaeologists excavated their sites and found evidence of their remarkable civilization. The fourth civilization we're going to talk about is the Minoans, who lived on the island of Crete in the Mediterranean Sea from around 3000 BCE to 1450 BCE. After c. 1450 BC, they came under the cultural and perhaps political domination of the mainland Mycenaean Greeks, forming a hybrid culture that lasted until around 1100 BC. The Minoans are considered to be the first European civilization, as they developed a sophisticated culture with a maritime empire, a linear writing system, and vibrant art and architecture. They are also associated with the legend of the Minotaur, a half-man, half-bull creature that lived in a labyrinth and was killed by the hero Theseus. The Minoans were destroyed by a series of natural disasters, such as earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, and by the invasion of the Mycenaeans, another ancient Greek civilization. The Minoans were forgotten until the early 20th century, when British archaeologist Arthur Evans excavated their palace at Knossos and revealed their colorful and captivating civilization. The fifth civilization we're going to talk about is the Maya, who lived in Mesoamerica, the region that covers Mexico and Central America, from around 2000 BCE to 900 CE. The Maya were one of the most advanced civilizations of the Americas, as they developed a complex calendar, a hieroglyphic writing system, and sophisticated mathematics and astronomy. They also built impressive cities, with pyramids, temples, palaces, and ball courts. The Maya were not a unified empire, but a collection of independent city-states that often warred with each other. The Maya civilization collapsed around 900 CE, possibly due to overpopulation, environmental degradation, drought, or warfare. The Maya were not completely extinct, as some of their descendants still live in the region today, but their cities were abandoned and overgrown by the jungle. The Maya were rediscovered in the 19th century when explorers, adventurers, and archaeologists ventured into their ruins and deciphered their glyphs. The sixth civilization we're going to talk about is the Angkor civilization, which ruled over Southeast Asia in what is now Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam from around 800 CE to 1431 CE. The Angkor civilization was one of the most powerful and prosperous civilizations of the medieval world, with a population of over 10 million people. They built the largest religious monument in the world, Angkor Wat, which is a temple dedicated to the Hindu god Vishnu. They also constructed an elaborate hydraulic system with canals, reservoirs, and dams that supported their agriculture and urbanization. The Angkor civilization declined and collapsed in the 15th century, possibly due to climate change, invasion, or internal strife. The Angkor civilization was forgotten until the 19th century when French explorers and archaeologists rediscovered their monuments and restored their glory. The seventh civilization we're going to talk about is the Tiwanaku civilization, which lived in the Andes Mountains, in what is now Bolivia, Peru, and Chile, from around 300 CE to 1000 CE. The Tiwanaku civilization was one of the most influential civilizations of South America, as they spread their culture and religion across the region. They built monumental stone structures, such as the Gate of the Sun and the Acapana Pyramid, that demonstrate their advanced engineering and astronomy. They also developed a system of roads, quipus, knotted cords for record keeping, and ceramics that reflect their artistic and social organization. The Tiwanaku civilization collapsed around 1000 CE, possibly due to drought, famine, or warfare. The Tiwanaku civilization was forgotten until the 16th century, when Spanish conquistadors and chroniclers encountered their ruins and recorded their legends. The eighth civilization we're going to talk about is the Great Zimbabwe civilization, which lived in southern Africa, in what is now Zimbabwe and Mozambique, from around 1100 CE to 1450 CE. The Great Zimbabwe civilization was one of the most prosperous and powerful civilizations in Africa, as they controlled the trade of gold, ivory, and other commodities between the interior and the coast. They built the largest stone structures in sub-Saharan Africa, such as the Great Enclosure and the Hill Complex, that showcased their architectural and artistic skills. They also developed a social and political hierarchy with a king, nobles, and commoners that governed their society. The Great Zimbabwe civilization declined and abandoned their city around 1450 CE, possibly due to overpopulation, environmental degradation, or political instability. The Great Zimbabwe civilization was forgotten until the 19th century when European explorers and archaeologists rediscovered their ruins and recognized their African origin. The ninth civilization we're going to talk about is the Cahokia civilization, which lived in North America, in what is now Illinois, Missouri, and Arkansas, from around 600 CE to 1400 CE. The Cahokia civilization was one of the most complex and populous civilizations of the Americas, with a population of over 20,000 people. They built the largest earthen mounds in North America, such as the Monk Mound and the Woodhenge, that demonstrate their religious and astronomical knowledge. They also developed a trade network, a copper workshop, and a game called Chunky that reflect their economic and cultural activities. The Cahokia civilization declined and dispersed around 1400 CE, possibly due to climate change, disease, or warfare. The Cahokia civilization was forgotten until the 20th century, when American archaeologists excavated their sites and revealed their significance. The 10th civilization we're going to talk about is the Nan Madol civilization, which lived in the Pacific Ocean, on the island of Pohnpei, in what is now Micronesia, from around 1200 CE to 1600 CE. The Nan Madol civilization was one of the most mysterious and isolated civilizations in the world, as they built an artificial city of stone and coral on a lagoon. They constructed over 90 islets, connected by canals that served as residences, temples, tombs, and workshops. They also developed a political and religious system with a king, priests, and nobles who ruled over their society. The non-model civilization declined and disappeared around 1600 CE, possibly due to invasion, rebellion, or natural disasters. The non-model civilization was forgotten until the 19th century, when European explorers and missionaries visited their ruins and marveled at their engineering and architecture. The 11th and final civilization we're going to talk about is the Easter Island civilization, which lived in the Pacific Ocean on the island of Rapa Nui in what is now Chile, from around 1200 CE to 1722 CE. The Easter Island civilization was one of the most isolated and enigmatic civilizations of the world, as they carved and erected over 900 giant stone statues called moai that represent their ancestors and deities. They also developed a unique script called Rongo Rongo, which has not yet been deciphered, and a culture of birdman worship, which involved a ritual competition to obtain the first egg of the season. The Easter Island civilization collapsed around 1722 CE, possibly due to overpopulation, deforestation, or contact with Europeans. The Easter Island civilization was forgotten until the 18th century, when Dutch explorers and later archaeologists rediscovered their statues and studied their culture. Conclusion. So these are the 11 prehistoric civilizations that resurfaced after being hidden for millennia. They are not only fascinating examples of human history, but also valuable sources of knowledge and inspiration for the present and the future. They show us how diverse, creative, and resilient humans can be, but also how fragile, vulnerable, and interdependent we are. They remind us of the importance of preserving and respecting our cultural and natural heritage, and of learning from our past mistakes and successes. They also challenge us to think about the legacy we want to leave behind for future generations, and the kind of civilization we want to be. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get notified of our latest videos. Also, let us know in the comments below which civilization you found the most interesting and why. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, this is Lost Worlds Unveiled, signing off.